Story time about how I found out that my coworker was cheating on her husband with my boyfriend. So a little background information. From 2022 to 2023, I worked as a receptionist at this hotel, and I was pretty good friends with one of my coworkers who was kind of older than me. I was 19, and at the time she was about 28 years old, and we're gonna call her Jamie. Jamie seemed like a very professional woman. Like, she would hardly get into drama, and everybody loved her at work. And we were all super thankful to have her because she was also a really good worker. Now, Jamie was married and she had a son who was about 3 years old. And she would always brag about how her husband treated her so well, which was weird because, girl, if he treated you well, why did you cheat on him? Be so for real. Anyway, so there was this guy who was working in the dining room area, and he was extremely fine. Like, when I tell you every girl wanted to get with him, every girl wanted to get with him. But somehow him and I clicked almost instantly. Fast forward a month, him and I start talking to each other. He even introduced me to his family, like for part 2. Part 2 about how my coworker cheated on her husband with my boyfriend. Anyways, like I said, we started talking and he introduced me to his friends, his family, and we would hang out constantly. And things got pretty serious. Eventually, we only were exclusively talking to each other. Fast forward about 3 months later, the news got around about him and I vividly remember that some of the girls were annoyed that him and I were together, which is understandable because he was hot AF. But the person who was most mad was Jamie, and it was very obvious. She constantly made comments towards me about us. She would be like, oh, you two shouldn't be hanging around each other, you guys aren't gonna look professional, all the girls are gonna spread rumors. Like, girl, bye, you're 28 years old with a kid and a husband, get a fucking life. And then whenever him and I would sit together at lunch, she would look at us with these nasty looks. Well, fast forward, the one night him and I are hanging out, and then eventually she follows him on all social medias. But I didn't care though because I thought he was loyal. After my boyfriend accepts it, not even 3 seconds later, she DMs him saying, hey, with a bunch of Ys, like for part 3. Part 3 about how my coworker cheated on her husband with my boyfriend. So like I said, she DMs him not even like 2 seconds later saying, hey, with a bunch of Ys, and we all know what that means. It's flirty. But she didn't answer him, so she kept spamming him. So fast forward, after him and I were dating for 7 months, we started growing apart. Like, we would spend hours without talking to each other. We stopped going out to the point where it was causing huge fights. And then a week later, a rumor starts going around that he and my coworker Jamie slept together. I found this hard to believe because I feel like people were just trying to break us up. But unfortunately, these rumors were true because I did receive some pictures of evidence of it actually happening. So obviously this caused me to get into a fight with them because I confronted them about it. And fast forward, in the end, both of them were fired and they aren't together anymore, which isn't a surprise. And I don't know what's going on with her and her husband, but whenever he found out, he stormed into the hotel and made a huge scene, as anyone probably would. And now they're both banned from even entering the hotel.
Get ready with me while I tell you about how my ex-best friend catfished me online and tried to get nudes from me. I already talked about her in multiple Get Ready With Me's, but people wanted more stories, so I thought I would just talk about this one too. For context, I used to have a best friend who basically hated me. Like, she was just a really bad friend. She would always get mad when people complimented me. She would start talking to every guy that I liked. And when I basically didn't want to be her friend anymore, she started bullying me. I actually mentioned this in one of my other videos, but I just thought that today I would elaborate. So basically, one day she came to me and she told me that she knows a guy that she thinks that I would really like. And I was a little confused by that because every time I would like a guy, she would like him too. Like, she would never let me have anything. So I was a little weirded out when she wanted to introduce me to a guy. So I was like, but okay. So she gave me his Instagram, but the second I saw that account, I already knew something was wrong. Like, it looked so much like a fake account. It barely had any followers. All the pictures of the guy looked like they were off Pinterest. Like, it was a good looking guy, but you could tell those pictures are from the internet. And all the pictures were posted on the same day, you know? So I immediately knew it was a fake account. But I was also thinking, like, why would she catfish me? You know, that's just weird. But I gave her the benefit of the doubt. So I thought that I would play along at first and see if that's actually her or someone else. So the guy basically messaged me first. And we started texting, but I don't know. It was just, something was weird about it, you know? But I was basically playing along so I could see if it was her or not. I was just thinking, if that's actually her texting me from that fake account, that's messed up. Why would you do that? And I really wanted to believe that that wasn't her. And the thing is, she was really rooting for me and that guy to get together, which was weird because, again, every guy that I liked, she would like too. So it basically went on for a few days until one day that account asked me for nudes. So I was confused because I was thinking, it can't be her asking me that. Like, that's what? Like, at first, I was suspecting it was her the whole time. But when I got that message, I was like, nah, that can't be her because why would she ask me that? But that's when I really had to find out if it was her or not, because that was really weird. So then one day in PE class, I went into the changing rooms and I found her phone, and I knew her password because we were best friends. And I checked on her Instagram, and she had her own account and that fake account and some other ones. So it was confirmed that it was her behind that account the whole time. So I confronted her, of course, and I was like, first of all, why are you catfishing me on Instagram? And why are you asking me for pictures? And she was just acting like it was no big deal. She was like, oh, like, girl, it was just a prank. Why are you taking it so seriously? It was just a joke. It was just a prank. Okay, but like, what? Like, that was just weird. And I don't think she would have told me that she was behind that account if I didn't confront her. And imagine if I actually did send her those pictures. Like, God knows what she would have done with that. Because genuinely, that girl was just pure evil. And I don't know what the point of that was and what her goal was, but she scares me. And mind you, that was one of the points why I stopped being her friend. Like, I feel like if I had sent her those pictures, she would have sent that to the whole school. But of course I didn't, because I don't do stuff like that. So yeah, that was it, y'all. Yeah, period.
There's a video on here where a creator is explaining the easiest way to tell if your man hates you is if he ruins your birthday. And that video triggered me because it's true. Like with my ex-husband, every year without fail, on my birthday, he would find a reason to argue with me. Like, I've had so many birthdays with him to where I just spent the day in bed just feeling shattered, crying. And there was this one year before we broke up, I wanted to see if he was really ruining my birthday on purpose, because I was just thinking, like, I actually like told him, I was like, I feel like every year something happens on my birthday, because it's just like, why is it a coincidence? And so that was before my birthday. So my birthday comes around, we had these plans, everything was set in motion. And so we get in the car the day of my birthday, we start pulling out the garage, and lo and behold, we didn't even pull out the parking lot yet. He starts arguing with me, and I just remember it was something very petty, and I really wasn't trying to like feed into the argument. And the guy starts punching on stuff in the car. He explodes. And all I remember is that the argument was something petty. It wasn't even anything big, but his actions were crazy, as if something major had happened. But then that solidified my suspicions that he was indeed messing my birthday up on purpose. He was doing it on purpose. And for that creator to say, you know, that's a way to tell that your man hates you, I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe it. Like, why? I just never understood why he would hate me. You know, it's like, why?